you need to be able to take time to reflect on them and deal with the difficult questions. You see, in order for you to make progress, you need to be able to handle difficult questions alone. So personal assessment at a very strong level, we define it within the School of Personal Management as an approach of analyzing and assessing how far an individual has gone. So it is personal approach, remember. So it means it is an individual activity of analyzing and assessing how far they have gone. Hello and welcome to Expansion Revolution Nuggets. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are back with a bang. Welcome back. And it is that time of the year where we are in mid-year. So we have already spent 6 months and we are left with 5 months and some days. And I felt we need to pause and, just have a moment of reflections and, check our lives. One of the things that I think are important for anyone who wants to make an impact and wants to do things right, it's always to learn to pause, make an evaluation and see where you are and how you can move forward. So today I want to introduce, for the next few days that we are going to be sitting here, I want us to sit on a subject of personal assessments. This is important for me because I think it is very important that we do every year have to sit down and do some personal assessments. Personal assessments help us to have an opportunity to reflect and evaluate and see where we are so that we don't go far without checking our progress. I know for most people, we live from, end of year to end of the year. You do your resolution if you do them, or if you are like me, I do them during my birthday. So you kind of sit down and plan there, and then you never have moments where you check on whether you are aligned on where you want to go. So that's why I want us to talk about personal assessments, because I want to help you. It's 2022 right now, and I want you to think about how far have you gone now and how are you doing. So when we are looking at personal assessments, we want to deal with the question, how are you doing? How are you? How are you progressing? I mean, those are the questions that we want to deal with at this level. Most of the time when we do, at a high level strategy management, we have an element of strategic evaluation, which it's as a component of the strategy. It's you want to monitor and to evaluate so that you want to be sure on whether you are progressing well to where you want us to go. And I feel, we need to be able to do that for our personal lives. And the subject of personal assessments allows us to be able to assess how far we have gone and how are we doing. So that's my question for you today. Let's start it there. How are you doing? How are you doing spiritually? How are you doing financially? How are you doing in your family? How are you doing in your business? How are you doing emotionally? How are you doing academically? How are you doing in prayer? How are you doing in giving? How are you doing in your personal development? How are you doing with people in your circle? How are you doing with raising up your children? It is important, ladies and gentlemen, whatever our ideals are, whatever the goals and the objectives that we have set for ourselves, you need to be able to take time to reflect on them and deal with the difficult questions. You see, in order for you to make progress, you need to be able to handle difficult questions alone. So personal assessment at a very strong level, we define it within the School of Personal Management as an approach of analyzing and assessing how far an individual has gone. So it is personal approach, remember. So it means it is an individual activity of analyzing and assessing how far they have gone. And the power there in personal assessment is, unlike waiting for other people to come and evaluate you, for most of you, you are professionals, and therefore you have your professional reviews at the workplace where you are evaluated on how you are performing. Now, personal assessment is your own journey at your own terms, where you sit down objectively objectively and say, how am I doing? I think if you do it as a professional, it gives you an opportunity for you to reflect on how far you are doing before even another person can come to do it with you or to evaluate you, and so forth and so on. So that's my question today to you is, how are you doing in your life? So in the next few weeks, I want to look at various areas where we need to be able to evaluate. I've already listed a lot of areas where you can check yourself and evaluate yourself and see on whether you are doing well. So as we deal with this personal assessment and we're assessing ourselves in various areas, I think key to that is we want to assess our action. How far are we in implementing the things that we have said we want to do? Number two, we want to also evaluate, our attitude towards where we want to go and how we want to get things done. Is our attitude, which will involve our mindset, premised right to help us achieve the things that we want to do? So those two areas are going to be a very strong broad basket that would take the tools from, so that we can help ourselves evaluate ourselves at where we are going. So ladies and gentlemen, share up, don't miss the next sessions. They are going to be powerful, but the idea is we're about to get out of 2022. What have you achieved? What have you been able to do? How far have you been able to go? Now, when you do personal assessments, you are also interested in finding out how you are doing in terms of your strengths or your achievements or your areas of big wins, and also in terms of your weaknesses and where you are failing and how you can improve. Because the overall aim, and that's key, the overall aim of running a personal assessment is to help you improve. Now, if you believe in becoming better, like me, I tell people one of the things that I believe is in improvement. I can tell you, if you met me 5 years ago, I am now better than I was then. If you met me 3 years ago, I am now better than I am. I am a firm believer in improving, and slowly but surely, yes, there may be areas where I'm struggling, but I always find little things that I add into my life to make myself better. One of the things that I'm doing is also learning the English language. So sometimes I want to improve just my vocabulary. You can look for simple things that you can add in your life to make yourself better. So sometimes when I recognize that I've been stuck on using same terminology for the long time, can just go to the dictionary just to study new words that may relate to me. So if I'm able to add 5 new words after 3 months or so into my vocabulary, one of my newest words I've learned recently is the word peculate. You can go and check it in the dictionary, what it means to peculate. Yeah, so find ways in which you can make yourself better. So the purpose of personal assessments is to help you track your progress, so that you see on whether you are stuck, on whether you are improving, on whether there are areas of difficulty that you are facing with that you need to be able to overcome. So if you belong to the improvement club, welcome to the personal assessments and nuggets that we'll be dealing with for the next few weeks. You are welcome. Put your hand on your chest and say, I can improve. Say it again. I can improve. That's what we are saying, because some of you have been bottled down by circumstances and by your past and by the reality that you are dealing with, and your reality is saying to you, you cannot improve, you cannot become better. I can tell you, all circumstances and all contextualized realities can be changed when we believe so firmly in ourselves to permeate through all the hurdles that stands in our way. And that's the mindset I want you to develop as we deal with personal assessments, that whatever seems to have been stuck on your road for the longest time, God can give you a way to navigate through it. And you can think about it, and God will guide you on how to get through it so that you can get to where you need to go at the right time. I believe in improvement. Put your hand on your chest and declare again, I believe in improvement, and I can assure you, you can improve, you can become better. Let's go into this personal assessment with that mentality. I can improve and I can become better. Let's see you next time. Please share this information, help people in your life to be able to access this information that can help them deal with difficult areas of their life and evaluate where they are. Let's see you next time. I am Ojo Matiba and I love you. Welcome back. It's personal assessment. How far have you gone? How are you doing? Bye-bye.